Good evening and welcome to the Waterboro Planning Board meeting of April 21st, 2010. My name is Tim Nelson, I'm chairman of the committee. We'll start our meeting this evening by calling the roll. Two members I have not present are Steve and Kurt. I believe Kurt has commitments in the Berwick area. He should be here later this evening if he gets out in time. So we do have a quorum. With that being said, I will start the meeting with our first appointment. It's a conditional use permit for Seamsville Farm Stand, tax map 25, lot 1, further identified as 192 Main Street. Ed and Sarah LeBlanc. Are they here?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, Mr. LeBlanc, if you don't mind.
Got some information. I'm Ed. Thank you. This is my wife, Sarah. Been waiting to meet you.
How you doing?
Thank you.
Okay. Give you folks a second to basically look over everything. What we own or operate Anderson Farms. We're from Dayton. We have fields in 4 towns. Currently do some business with Hannaford Supermarkets, Shaw Supermarkets. We have a couple other retail stands, and are looking to put a nice little home farm stand in Waterboro. We basically relatively new to this whole process. We are willing to do anything we need to do to make it work. Having said that, does anybody has any questions throughout the thing, feel free to look through all the, there's a quick explanation, and then there's a little quick drawing of the proposed plan. We have some contacts with USDA, and we had the land delineated for wetlands to just make sure that everything could fit in. We contacted DOT about parking and entrance to Route 5 202. Basically, we are mostly looking to make sure that we can do it on this particular piece of property. Again, we're a small family farm.
Not too small.
Not too small, but fortunately we have to we've had to diversify just to stay going.
Everybody does.
Yeah, it's one of those things. So.
Clint Abbott's property. That's Clint Abbott's property.
Yes, sir. Yeah. We'd be currently using the existing foundation. We're not going to go any further closer to the road or further back from the road. The building will encompass a portion of that foundation, and the rest of it will be filled and leveled off. And
How do you propose the parking to be there?
there's 2 entrances currently.
Right.
Because we're shortening up that lot or that building, we're actually going to be parking. If you're looking at the building, the majority of the parking will be on the right. It encompasses, I think it's about a 67 by. It's quite a large area right there. I think I have it written down there somewhere. But it's and there'll be basically a 20-foot driveway that goes from that parking area to the other side of the house. So there'll be an entrance on either side of that location. Right now, there's currently 2 entrances to that property. We basically be connecting them in front of the lot or the house.
You open for discussion?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Are you going to purchase the property?
That is our intention.
So the application is from you,
It is, sir.
okay? Is the swimming pool still there? Or is the
No,
swimming
they
pool
filled it
gone?
in.
Yeah, I was
Yep.
just thinking the same.
All
thing.
done swimming, that's too
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
People could swim a little while they was getting their fruit. But do you propose to have rest facilities in this?
Not a public rest facility, just a private rest facility for the individual working.
Use the existing septic and well.
Yes, sir. It would be actually less, work on it right now than what it currently would have.
Is there a problem having one there for the public to use?
We have not looked into it. Mostly the problem would be just, having to do with sanitation and upkeep and everything. It's something that we could definitely look into if we needed to. Yeah, we're willing to do basically whatever it takes to.
You're not going to be serving people there, it's just going to be.
No, it's just,
Vegetables,
sorry.
no
yeah, and it's
restaurant.
actually, it's stuff that we grow ourselves, process, it's all our own things, we don't buy in anything. We have two other little farm stand, one in Old Orchard, one down at the end of Route 5. Hollis Road and Route 5.
You're going to be doing Christmas trees?
No, I don't do Christmas trees.
Well, the reason I ask these questions is because we've proposed some zoning changes, which in the future would allow this without coming to us, correct? If the changes were adopted.
Yep.
And I see absolutely no concerns here.
I don't have any concerns. The only, and I say that, she can come, the only thing I question is the parking. I'm looking, and I got these electronically, so that's what I'm
Please,
looking at
yeah,
on the
yeah,
computer. I just don't, I just like to see a little more detailed in the parking,
Sure.
because
I might actually,
I know the one on the corner of 5 and
Yeah.
Cole Road, or
Yeah, that's right.
not Cole, is it River Road, excuse me,
Yeah.
gets kind of cluttered.
It certainly does. The proposed parking, we actually had Tingley Excavation, Terry Tingley,
Yeah.
come over, and I didn't include his drawing because it was much more extensive. I think there would be parking enough there for about 12 cars or more, and that does not include the 20-foot driveway between the two driveways. It's
That 20-foot driveway between driveways, is that going to be in the back of the?
No, it'll be right in the front, but there's enough room there from the road. I mean, there's another, it's 49 feet from the building to the road. And that's the edge of the road, not.
Tim, on the right-hand side of that building, they packed
They park tractor trailers in there,
two
right?
tractor trailers in there, so if you shortened up the building, there's certainly space enough there. If they
Right.
pulled in and...
Well, that's why I figured, I'm picturing that. My only concern is I would like to have seen a little detail where they were parking it, to back them in and drive them out.
Yeah, and we can absolutely,
But
again,
that's not going to hold you up, because
Okay.
if a motion comes through, it would come through that I would ask the code enforcement
Great.
officers. And that's the only concern that I have. Otherwise, I think the project is a great project for that area.
excellent, excellent.
Closer for me to get my vegetables.
We've been looking in this area for a couple of years, and it just seemed to fit right there, and we're hoping we can pull it off with everything.
Tina, the number of proposed, item number 33 on this application, that's the recommended number of spaces.
The ordinance is there, I think that they do by the number, the square footage of selling area, and he said it's less
I
than
just wondered
1,000.
whether this was
I think
something
that's-
that Patty had done, or whether this is
Patty
something
did
you
see
done.
this, yes.
What's that?
Patty did see this.
Because I don't see anything here from her saying that this application meets.
I know originally we had considered 8, and then after talking with how we wanted to set up the parking, it was going to be, I think the parking is 10 foot by 20 foot per car. And figuring out we had an excess of 12 spaces available, which was considerably more than what we needed for the 1,000 square feet of space.
And how many employees?
One, two, one at a time. Yeah. We have 3 daughters, so we're hoping to kind of,
So you have one parking space for employees, and then
right,
you could have 10 parking
That's
spaces for
right.
customers.
easily.
So
Yep.
11 parking spaces
Yep.
total, right?
Yep,
You're
exactly.
still going to have the parking spaces in front of the garage. That
Correct.
would be 2,
Yep, correct.
and still be able to have your driveway.
That's
So that
correct.
10 and 2 is 12, right?
Exactly.
Okay. My only thing is that in any of these things, I guess seeing the amount of people that are out there and being around, you're always seeing somebody looking for facilities when they stop in. They
Yeah.
either got a child
Yep.
with them, or they got, somebody else.
Absolutely.
And if you're gonna have a restroom there, it could be a unisex restroom.
Oh,
As
yeah.
long as it was handicapped, you could open it to
And
the
that was the
public.
thing, one of the things that we did add to this that's not on there is that we did make all the building actually will be handicap accessible, and the bathroom will be handicap accessible. So it's there. I just don't know the legalities of public versus private, and what I would have to do to get
First,
it.
there's one right there at the medical centers, they've got private, public facilities all over the place, so.
But,
It's not-
I mean, it wouldn't be a problem. It's just, I don't know the actual process of doing what I would need to do to make it public.
Seems kind of too bad that they make all these restrictions, then you combine, they got these little porta potties sitting outdoors.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of sanitary thought given to them things, I can
No,
tell you.
frankly, we use
About
them.
90 degrees, they become unsanitary.
We now,
No, Fred says this is a very cool. He says they don't get hot.
oh, yeah.
I
We
might have
actually,
misunderstood him.
because of the new regulations, we have to have a porta potty at every single field. It has to have a full hand washing station. You have to, it has to be cleaned and checked, and
Yep.
it's just wonderful. The days of just
But
going.
so this is just gonna be seasonal.
It is,
So-
it is. I
I could
would
have
love
sworn
to.
somewhere in the application I saw something about maybe adding organic meat or something.
Yeah,
And,
we raise beef right now also,
Yep.
mostly 4-H projects.
Oh, lamb.
Our kids are, matter of fact, going to Freiburg this weekend, so, to the Beef Expo, but, eventually, our intention is to, have our own beef in there and stuff like that. But again, we work a full year in 6 months, and so
Yeah.
we'd really like to, have it stay seasonal. I mean, that's my intention. And I hope to keep it that way, so.
In reviewing traffic and visibility, there's an issue that comes up is screening. All parking and loading areas, including areas used for maneuvering and interior circulation, shall be set back 25 feet from the roadway and have at least a 10-foot green belt on the side and rear property lines.
Okay.
Probably shouldn't have gone and find out what was going on with parking requirements, but I did. So that,
How does that fit in it doesn't, we couldn't put 20 foot of driveway. is what-
no, but the only, what I'm looking at, I was thinking of screening more than anything. We've had, and I'm reading as I'm talking here.
What would be your hours of operation?
Basically, everything in the morning, the wonderful thing about our farm stands is everything's picked that morning, it's brought into the stands, it's sold during the day, and then it goes home at night, whatever doesn't, so
What time would you close?
we close right around 6 o'clock at our other stands right now, and we open at 10:30.
So you're not going to have a lot of lights from cars? That's what I was
No.
thinking of,
No, we,
in and out.
basically 10:30 till 6 every day. That's how we operate our other stands. 7 days a
I was
week,
just
though.
thinking in terms of screening.
Yeah.
That would not be a problem.
On this last page, they have a drawing that shows green area. There are no dimensions, but if they were to do things the way that it's drawn on this picture,
You know, yeah, you
it
got
looks like they're allowing for,
I think we sent it to the DOT.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it looks like the DOT's application.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem. I think if the motion's gonna come down, it probably just should come down that parking requirements be addressed and verified by the code officer.
Like I said, we're willing to do whatever it takes to make this project work. So
On the right-hand side, that property's up for sale as commercial property.
That's right,
And
that's
then we got the,
Then we have the
the
hospital.
medical facility that doesn't have any green belt around it. On the left-hand side, it's open between those two projects.
I thought there was
Well,
there's
nicely
there's
landscaped.
trees
What's that?
between,
There's a pond there and nicely landscaped.
and there's tree, it's all tree, where we probably tweak.
I wouldn't call that much of a, I mean...
Well, the
this-
pond is a retention.
Retention pond.
for,
Yeah,
so-
but there is no green belt per se between, what's those people's name? I forgot.
Leon's.
Leon's.
Yeah, there is.
Tula Leon, or,
They were
you know,
required.
between their property and, there's not much of a green belt
No,
in
but
there.
I know basically was trees, they put fir trees or
You could
whatever.
drive a tank between them.
Yeah, well,
Well, there's a road there. There's a,
yeah.
Yeah, but to the left of the road, there still isn't much
Yeah,
green belt.
yeah.
I think them green belts are a waste of good taxpayer money, because the taxpayers are gonna pay for it, all the
Yeah.
people are gonna pay for it. You wanna grow some corn along the property line, there's your green belt.
Sunflowers.
Sunflowers. Well, I'll make a motion that we grant this conditional use permit
I'd second that.
with a minimum of 12 parking spaces. There's gonna be 2 in front of the garage, and there's 10 to the right. It's 12 parking spaces.
Well, what about, I thought Patty just filled this other one in. She said they only need 6.
Well, they had 8. He said he was
Or
gonna,
8.
he said he was gonna go
Yeah,
to 10.
yeah, we could easily do that.
Okay.
So
Sure.
I just thought if he said 10, we'd use 10,
Okay.
all right?
Yeah.
And I would like to see,
Is it paved? It's not, is it?
I'd love to pave it. We'll see with the but it's, we had it priced out with reclaim, 4 inches thick reclaim, packed reclaim, rolled reclaim. It's all depending on finances at that point.
in my motion, I would like to see you know, some sanitary facilities, that's all,
Other than the employee only.
other than the employee only. I do that just because, you know, we see so many places today that, as you go into them, that's my biggest concern, and where this is gonna be for several months a year, and he was planning to have a bathroom anyway, I would like to see it, you know.
Yeah. Again, I'll just have to chase out the legalities of,
How about if you base it on the plumbing code, that they meet the requirements of the state plumbing code for sanitation facilities,
For public use.
for public, yeah, for,
That may be a big pump.
Hmm?
What's there now?
there's a whole new code and it's actually.
I know.
And it's, there's a new one, a new one coming in the
This
next.
next couple of
few-
weeks, yeah.
So it'll be addressing public facilities.
What if the, having it a public facility potentially is a stress on the existing system? And we would have to redo the whole system to make it a public
I
facility?
guess if it's, I guess if it's more than, not too much for a public system, I'd rather not require. I suspect it may be with an older house, an older whatever it is.
Yeah,
I
it
would
actually was
accept
designed
if
for
it didn't affect
3
the
bedrooms,
existing
which is
septic.
300.
I don't imagine the sanitation problem would be something we couldn't handle.
Yeah.
But if it stresses the existing system, I would imagine that would be a huge
Or if the
expense.
code changes it, that,
Just a thought.
It would seem to me that, you know, 200, that's designed for
It's designed for a 3-family,
3
so
bedrooms.
that's 90,
270.
120, 270.
The only other thing, Doug, is putting, they may have to meet water standards also for a public.
yeah.
That would be putting, I don't know, that would be putting undue stress,
Hardship
I
on-
would think.
Well,
Not
if that's
using
the
town water.
case, then they can put a porta potty out there.
Right, right.
Isn't that crazy?
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
it's
and I don't
too
mind-
bad because simple is simple, okay?
Believe me, I know.
But, you know.
I do.
You just realize that you have public coming and going there.
Yep.
And I mean, even if you put one thing, how do we change that? To meet the plumbing code if possible, if not, then a porta potty.
Okay, that's,
Okay.
and my concern is if you require it, he's gonna have to put an ADA facility in, and just that alone is quite expensive.
Yep.
And that's the only reason I'm asking, just to meet the standards for thing,
Let's
then
get real.
we'll give him time to get his feet settled, and maybe in the next year or two.
I'm not gonna have everybody in the world bringing their kids over there.
But that's a problem today, Judy, I mean.
There's a motion and a second on the floor. Now I'll open it up for discussion so we can actually talk about what we've been talking about. Is there any further discussion on that?
Just out of curiosity, do you have to have a license from the state to sell vegetables?
Not vegetables, but like my sister, we grow about 3 acres of strawberries, and if she is going to make jam, I'll have to have a license for
Yeah.
jam, and I have to have a license for our maple syrup.
Yeah.
So and those are actually 2 different licenses. So anything that's processed, even though it's our product done by our family, we still have to be licensed. Yeah, it's great.
For my 20 perennials out there, I have to have a license.
Oh, yeah,
for all
flowers.
plants, yeah.
Flowers are a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
If we do flowers, and we get a church tax, and
Yeah.
so on and so on. So it's, sorry.
All right. All those in favor of the motion? Opposed? Unanimous.
Thank you very much. And just to know, if anybody has any questions, feel free to contact us. We're pretty much an open book. So.
When do you plan on opening?
Well, as soon as we can.
Actually, going to put that one on the trailer and bring it down here?
No, that one's, it's such in rough shape, but, just getting through the process of everything, and, the contractors and realtors and so on and so on.
You gonna still do strawberries this year?
What's that? Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Guess that market's gone down the tubes, I guess.
What has happened with strawberries is that you pick your own, no one picks their own anymore.
Yeah.
People my age don't do that. They would rather buy them for $5 a quart.
Well,
And it's-
I guess the West Coast, both of their picks this year came in almost at the same time because of the weather.
Oh, yeah.
You seen what
yeah.
they're rolling strawberries for these
Oh,
days
yeah.
out of Sam's?
It's unbelievable, unbelievable. But what we've done is, we don't grow a lot, but we sell them all retail. We actually have a little tiny farm standing right in front of our strawberries in Hollis that we can't open up anymore because it was self-serve.
Oh.
And we lost, I think we averaged $75 a day last year for thievery.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Well, not lost. That was, quarts, you put quarts out there, you knew how many quarts, and when you counted your money out of the money box, there was $75. And you'd think it was young people, and it's not always young people. So, but anyways.
Wasn't me.
Yeah, no, I know, Bill. Again, thank you very much, and please feel free to contact us anytime.
Thank you, and good luck.
All right, thanks again.
Next on our agenda is a preliminary plan for Meadowbrook Acres 2 subdivision,
Riding by and
tax map 11, lot 42. Bill Thompson from VH2M is going to do the presentation, I believe.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Bill Thompson with BH2M Engineers, here with Andy Cody, the applicant, for the Meadowbrook Acres Phase 2 subdivision. What I'd like to ask the board if we could try to accomplish tonight is, I've got a letter request for 4 different waivers, requesting waivers on the preliminary application. I'd like to give everyone a copy of that, and the suggestion or the process is if we could go through each request for waiver is the board, would like to have the board consider a vote on each of those, so we know where we stand. And once you look at these handouts, again, we can go through each one. Is that okay with you, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, it is.
I've highlighted on each page what the specific waiver is, and section, and also our reason for the request. Okay, the first request on the first page is, on behalf of the applicants, we're hereby requesting a waiver of Article 6, Section 6.2.1, subsection 16, proposed lot lines with approximate dimensions, lot numbers, and approximate acreage, and suggested location of buildings. We're requesting a waiver for the suggested location of buildings on each lot. We've shown the building setback lines as allowed by zoning, and we feel that the individual lot owner should be allowed to locate and position the house within those zoning setbacks. Had this successfully in other towns with a cluster subdivision. Each lot, we feel, has a good building window with opportunity and options. So that's our first request, if we could have that considered.
It's open for discussion.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we allow the applicant to use just a window, an envelope, and the owner be allowed to build within the envelope, but the envelope be shown on the plan.
So I'll second that.
A motion has been made to allow for a building envelope to be shown on the plans and to waive the requirements for suggested location of houses. Is there any discussion on that? All those in favor, please indicate by raising your hand. Opposed? Unanimous.
Thank you. The second one, on behalf of the applicants, we're hereby requesting a waiver of Article 6.2.1, subsection 21, soil erosion and sedimentation control plan endorsed by the York County Soil and Water Conservation District or Maine Soil and Water Conservation District. The waiver request for this item is based on the fact that the project will be reviewed by the Maine DEP for stormwater and erosion control standards. The project design will conform to the best management practices standards as outlined by the Maine DEP. Inspection during and after construction will be a requirement of the Maine DEP permit. So we kind of feel this is a little bit of a redundancy. If the board would consider that request, please.
It is open for discussion. Any discussion on this?
Is there any need to have double coverage like that? I don't see any problem with that.
I'll move that we waive it.
Yeah, especially
I'd
since
second
it's
that,
all
too.
his land.
We wait, okay, there's been a motion and a second to waive the review by the County Soil and Water Conservation District or the Maine Soil and Water Conservation District.
And then we get a written report from DEP at the final completion of the project that it met their requirements. Soil and Water does not come out and inspect anything.
They
They
don't.
look at the plan, and then it goes to DEP. So if we have a written letter from DEP saying that it meets the requirements of their soil and water, then
That'll be fine.
that's more than we're gonna get out of,
York.
York County Soil and Water Conservation District. So on that fact, I think we ought to waive it to the DEP for full consideration.
Oh,
Okay. Any further discussion on that? All in favor of waiving the requirement to send it off to Soil and, to York County Soil and Conservation, please indicate by raising your hand. Okay, it's been waived, but you heard the stipulation that we received DEP
Correct.
reports as you receive them.
The third, again, on behalf of the applicants, we're requesting a waiver of Article 6, 6.2.1, subsection 26 and 27, and that's a report prepared by a geologist registered in the state of Maine to evaluate the impact of the development will have on groundwater. The waiver request for this item is based on our suggested location for subsurface disposal systems and topography. The surface gradient at these subsurface locations either slopes internally toward the proposed roadway, toward the open space, or toward the remaining land of Cody. The flow of nitrate plumes generally parallel the surface grades, with the required measure of nitrate levels being measured at the down gradient of the project boundaries, not the lots themselves, but the project boundaries, which could be the outside edge of the open space. We do not anticipate a problem meeting the standard of 5 milligrams per liter. Our well locations will stay a minimum of 100 feet from any subsurface disposal system and not directly down gradient of any of these systems. Again, we've, just a little clarification, we've done nitrate studies for forever on every project, and I don't think I've ever had one not work. These lots all drain toward the road. These drain down toward the open space. These drain down toward the open space. So the nitrate level would be measured down here, not at the end of any of the lots. And Mr. Cody controls all of this land, again, down gradient from the subdivision. Again, I've had C.V. Mahar out of Cumberland, a well-respected hydrogeologist. And then, again, I've been doing this for 30 years, maybe not nitrate studies for 30 years, but I've never had a nitrate study not work, because we do know what the best separation is based on surface grades. Is we put a well on the back or we put the well in front, and we do not have a septic system in the gradient with the well and the septic. So they do not conflict. And again, the measurements are done at the down gradient. So that's the reason for our request, and I'd like to have the board consider that.
Do you plan to follow the 2 test pit rule that's in the,
We have those done already.
you have both test
Two
pits and
on each lot.
both are acceptable?
Yes, they are. Yep.
Are they, I guess I haven't seen that.
No, I haven't submitted those yet. That'll be submitted in our next, they're anywhere from 14 to 24 inches to a restrictive layer, which is mostly groundwater. So they're,
And
the state
what
plumbing
are
code is
what
12
are
inches.
the soil?
And Mark Hampton Associates did wetland study in the soils. He's finding a sandy loam, friable, almost all of these sandy loam, friable, bedrock down below. Limit of excavation on some of these are 16 inches. Basically, sandy loam and a friable consistency. No modeling on most of these. To the limit of the pit, he went down 18 to 24 inches with a test pit and found no modeling. And they're all about the same, sandy loam. And
So
again,
most of these are going to be raised beds?
a little bit, yeah, exactly. We have, like I said, anywhere 12 to, I guess the best test pits are 24 inches, 16 inches.
So on a raised bed, your nitrates usually stay closer to the surface, therefore degenerated, if you will,
Yeah, they're-
by the growth on top of the ground,
Correct. You get a lot of lateral movement
rather
versus
than
vertical.
percolation.
Yeah.
You're not going to have a lot of percolation in 18 inches.
No, not with the groundwater, the modeling at that point. You'll still get some. I mean, that's a seasonal condition, but you'll still get some vertical transfer of the nitrate.
Would it be a problem if your wells were 125 feet rather than 100 feet?
I guess if we felt there was a reason for it, I mean, state plumbing code is 100 feet, and if I keep them out of the direction of surface travel, and I try to keep my wells up gradient of my septic system.
The town of Waterboro had a code for many years that superseded the state code. We required 125 feet.
Yeah. And I know your levels of nitrate are 5 milligram and most
Right.
are 10.
Most are 10.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
I
the
know
state
that.
standard, 10, so you're half that, which again, I've never had a problem with that working. We did it on phase 1 and all those systems, there were no issues.
You understand that that was done because a lot of the town is in a very coarse sandy area, and the nitrates were not getting processed.
The
And-
treatment was minimal, yeah.
So, at the time, 1978, when we did the zoning ordinance and subsequently the subdivision ordinance, for some reason, he got stuck at 5. We tried to get it up to 10, because 10 is a more reasonable number, and it fits into the state.
That's the state regulation.
But, if you're asking for that to be waived in one area, then, a guarantee or an additional 25-foot guarantee would not be
Yeah, that would work. Done.
you know what I mean? It would be
A little more separation,
a
sure.
little more separation if anybody had any question about it, that's all.
And we'll show that the wells are not in the direction of travel of the theoretical nitrate plumes.
Well, I guess I wouldn't have any problem granting that waiver.
You making that a motion
I'd make that a motion.
with stipulations that wells are 125 feet?
25 feet.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion on that? All in favor? Opposed?
Thank you. And the last one.
Sorry.
Again, on behalf of the applicants requesting a waiver, Article 6, 6.1.5, Section 3, and the quote is, "Board determines amount of improvements and bond required as a prerequisite to final approval." And the waiver request for this item is just based on the history of the applicant with projects in the town of Waterboro. The applicant constructed Phase 1. All improvements was reviewed by the town with a successful outcome. The sole purpose of a bond is to protect the town if the owner fails to perform to the satisfaction of the town. The applicant is the general contractor, house builder, and lives on the remaining property that is not being developed.
Well, this bond is usually in the amount of the improvements, correct? Or 125% of the amount of the improvements? What has the board been doing on that, Tim?
Actually, I'm looking the ordinance up. In the past, it's been waived over to the
Selectmen.
selectmen.
Who have done
And
that.
I was just looking at the language because our language is a bit messed up because I think it says only 25%. I think the one,
Says what?
it only says 25% of the construction because I think the 100% was
A typo.
inadvertent left out, yeah.
Well, I think that we have the authority to increase that amount.
Right.
And, what has happened in many cases is once the developer determines the amount of money that's going to have to be expended to do this project, that the, either gets a letter of credit from the bank, which is much easier to obtain than a bond. A bond is, people don't believe how hard a bond is to get. Bonds getting increasingly more difficult to obtain. So usually the developer has got to outlay this amount of money. So if you put in an account joint between the builder and the municipality, which takes both signatures to release the money, they're only putting up the amount of money that's required, or if they get a letter of credit, you're going to understand, I've had some problems in this town in this respect.
I understand it, right.
And the board
Yeah.
of selectmen has numerous times said they want to, work on this. Well, in my opinion, a bond is pretty much a difficult thing to control because the planning board says, okay, we want a bond. The board of selectmen doesn't follow through with it. There's nobody in this organization that we have that trails that along down the line, and after the first year, they usually run out. So then the town has no, so I think an irrevocable letter of credit, which I don't know if that's acceptable to Mr. Cody or not, in the amount of the job is, usually much easier to obtain. Would that be a,
Well, I understand it, and my reason, and I think you have to take it case by case, and I've been party as the engineers to a history of Waterboro with no bond being required on a road. But you've got to look at the individuals involved, and in this case, Mr. Cody's had a track record out there, and just based on my statement here, he's going to be the general contractor, and he lives out there.
we're supposed to be blind to the, you know what I mean? In some ways, we've got to come up with a standard that's
Right.
fair to everybody.
Right.
And, I understand this.
Yeah, and the ordinance says I had to give a reason for requesting this waiver, and that's my reason, based on the people involved, the individuals. And I think that the risk is very low that there'd be an issue.
What's your pleasure, guys?
I personally feel that we should continue with asking for a bond of some kind or
Or a letter of credit.
a letter of credit. After what we went through up on Deering's Ridge and a couple of other places, I don't feel that,
And it leaves us, and it goes to the selectmen,
yes.
as we currently.
But if we make the motion correctly, it gives the code officer the authority to stop issuing building permits if it lapses. Because if it's part,
legal battle.
if it's part of the condition of approval, then if the condition is broken, then the approval is not
Okay.
correct. And this is not gonna be an issue. I'm just informing you this for future use, because it is a fact, because, I don't know, have they assigned this job to you, Tom? Monitoring bonds and letters of credit. And the last I listened to one of the selectmen's meeting, they seemed not to have any direct course of action or line to follow. So
Didn't wanna deal
if
with
you
it.
make it part of the condition, whatever we agree on here, if it is part of the condition of the approval of the final plan, then once the condition is broken, the final plan becomes null and void. It's because it's recorded with the plan. I believe. That's my belief.
So as a condition, instead of a bond, we could say letter of credit?
Well, I don't know, you want to consult with your client to see if
Yeah.
that's anything?
Letter of credit is the preferred.
Okay, we do bond or letter of credit, whatever, doesn't make a difference.
We could actually just leave it as it is, and then you guys can negotiate, we can negotiate that through the process.
You
Okay.
can put the money in an account if you want, as far as I'm concerned. That's what's worked out good for a lot of people is, the only problem with that is that if you require that for final paving and everything, in this town where it's gonna be so long getting building permits,
Right,
you got all that money tied up for
Yeah.
some period of time.
Yeah.
And, this has to be worded properly because the letter of credit has to be decreased as the approval of the work is submitted and approved by
Right.
by the engineer. All right?
Yeah.
So this is something that's really, what I would like to do is if it's acceptable, I'd like to make a motion that we will arrive at an agreeable,
Who's gonna do the negotiation? Who's gonna do
well, I
that?
don't think there's any negotiations. I think this takes more than what we can write up here and
Okay.
put into a motion. I don't want to
Okay.
make a motion that's not 100% right.
Right, okay.
I don't want anybody coming back later and saying, oh, this
Yep.
wasn't right, so.
Yep.
I think the only thing at this junction is they're asking us to waive it.
Yeah, we can table it for
Yeah.
Or say not waiting.
Tom?
Planner had a question, thank you.
What Doug says is absolutely right. I would encourage the board to look towards a letter of credit versus a bond. The bond would have to go back to the board of selectmen, and it gets a little bit complicated. With the letter of credit, someone needs to be accountable, and I'm willing to accept that from the board if you wish to delegate it to me. What I've typically done in the past is about 2 months before expiration, or 3 months before expiration, alert the board, alert the applicant. If the applicant has done some of the work, he, through his engineer, can ask for a write-down or a diminishment of that letter of credit. But typically, these letter of credits are for 1 year, and rather than let them lapse, then it's good to have a staff person accountable. And if the board wishes to delegate that to me as a letter of credit, I'm willing to do
The
that.
problem I see with the bond is it stays, the full bond stays in effect through the whole project. You're gonna keep getting bonded and bonded and bonded and bonded. The road work is all done, where a letter of credit would get down to the final part. It would be just for the remaining paving or what little bit of work that might be done at the final end. But I think that this should be properly and clearly written so that everybody knows it up front and we don't have any discussion about it later on, and it becomes part of the final plan, a condition on the final plan.
Right, and that's basically what your language here says, the board determines it as a prerequisite to final approval. So
Right.
if we're not looking for final approval, do we move it to a later point in the approval process?
I just think that we should come up with a,
And Mr. Cody, proposes what he wants to put forward as a security to the construction.
well, you're gonna put together
We'll have an estimate.
you'll have an estimate of cost for this project,
Correct.
okay? And if he gives us a letter of credit that's satisfactory to the 125% of that, then, I mean, as long as you got figures, which I'm sure will be, reasonably accurate, but
Representative of the current conditions.
in this environment, what's accurate?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's all over the place, it's like a yo-yo. So who do we want to write up this request? Do we want to write it up?
I think they should present us with what they presume the cost of the
That's what I
project is going to be.
No, but I mean, who wants to write up we got to have somebody write up this motion, so that the motion is made correctly when it's approved, okay? Should we do that? Should one of the board members do that? Should we ask Tom to do that? I don't want to involve people outside of the board. I mean, this is something that we should do, and
I have no problem asking Tom to do that. I do have a problem with the suggestion that we toss the monitoring of it to Tom. That's another issue. I think I'd like to toss that to our selectmen who can come up with a process so these bonds or letters of credit, whatever, get monitored somehow. I don't think we should toss that to Tom. I think our selectmen should take care of that. Two different issues.
I agree 100% with you. Whatever we do here goes to the Board of Selectmen, and then they assign it to him. We have no authority to assign you work. I mean, we can ask for your help, but as far as delegating you to do something outside of our meeting obligations, I don't know that we have that
But as
right.
we pass it to the selectmen, I think we should clearly state that we're passing them the responsibility of somebody to monitor this also,
Yes.
because it hasn't been done in the past, so.
And what I'm hearing is we're looking for a line of credit versus a bond. I think, a letter of credit,
And we'll have
with the
that
town co-named on it.
irrevocable.
Yeah.
Irrevocable letter of credit.
And we'll have that amount in the process
Yeah.
presented prior to final approval.
Yep.
Right. And then I think we can make that motion. They can pull this off the table at this point, then we can make the motion at prior to final approval of what we expect to be exactly
Yep.
worded.
Yes.
Like, the final approval could say X, Y, and Z at that point. And if we made it now, we can change that 10 times before then. It's something, it balls in the court at this point.
That works. So we'll just
Just remove this article.
remove that from our request.
Oh, that's,
Will that have influence the cost?
Yes. But Judy and I having a little discussion here about, this is gonna, when all of the issues are decided for the total project, then we'll know how much this is for. This sets the groundwork for whatever the final decisions are, correct?
Right.
Everybody understand that?
Yep. Yes.
You want,
Okay.
that was your question you had?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And thank you for entertaining those waivers. The next thing I'd like to accomplish as we move forward with the design is to go through the preliminary checklist and see how the board feels about each item, where we are. And I'll tell you where we are in the design. The roadway and design is completed. Test pits have been done. You'll see on there some shaded areas which are representing, and those are buffers for stormwater, and those are being reviewed as our pre-application with DEP. And I think some of these buffers are going to be eliminated or not needed based on the final analysis of stormwater. We are going to pull some of the stormwater back and prove that this pond has the capacity of just a little bit of the road is going to come back here. The rest of it's going to go down and be managed on site. DEP, like I said, has the plan. We're looking for our first meeting with them to get them to endorse how we manage the stormwater. So we've got the design well along. I have not submitted anything to you. We've been back and forth with some meetings on different issues, and some meetings that weren't held by either our reasons or other reasons. So we'd like to go through and look at the preliminary checklist, Mr. Chairman, and it has been initially reviewed, I believe, from Tom.
There are copies on the table.
Copies of highlighted areas, and now we have a little more to add to it, the accomplishment of some of the waivers tonight, so.
No.
I have a choice of listening to you or Tina.
It's all right.
I think I'll listen to Tina.
Tina?
Yeah.
That's all one set, I think.
Oh, is that all one set?
All of them here.
Should be
But
He's got it in the
three
computer.
pages.
Isn't there more than one set though?
Well, there's one. There's two.
Was no one set.
What's that?
Was no one set.
I guess we're gonna have to share.
I think I might have an extra set here.
No, I got Tim. Tim's got his computer right here. I can hear it over his shoulder.
There is
No,
another
that's
paper
all
copy
right.
if you
Oh,
want.
is that?
You want another one?
One of them.
Okay, no, it's
You all set?
Yep.
Okay. So it starts section 6.2.1 preliminary plan. Tim, I guess I'll just let you want to lead the charge, or?
No, go ahead, you can do it.
Okay.
We'll just
All right.
follow along.
First item, name, title, town, date, scale, north arrow, completed on the plan. Name, address of owner, subdivider, soil scientist, designer, engineer, and surveyor, with the appropriate license numbers, and all the plans for submission will be stamped. Number of acres, location of property lines, existing easements,
It's a different
buildings,
plan.
water courses.
That's not the
Roger
same
Loish's
plan.
Oh, you're right. Wonder doesn't look right, but I'll stay with it.
Fewer lots there, or?
Yeah.
So the third one, the number of acres, the total acreage is on the plan, 28.60 acres. All the property lines, a full boundary survey. Easements, there are no buildings on this site, and water courses are shown the stream.
Sorry about that.
Number 4, name of the subdivision of budding property owners, including directly across the street, streams, or right-of-ways. We have all the abutters based on the town's assessors' records. And again, Andy Zuccotti own most of the land on the south side of this project, so they are one of the abutters. Number 5, provisions of the zoning ordinance acceptable to the area being divided and any zoning district boundaries affecting the subdivision. It's all in one zone. There is a conservation zone that is not part of this property. It's further to the west. So this project is, again, just one zone, and it's so noted on the plans. Item 6, location and size of proposed and existing sewers, water mains, culverts. Culverts are the only issue. We do have the culverts shown on this plan, and on the roadway sheets, we have the culverts shown, and the calculations to show that they are suitable. The culvert under this stream here works very well. This one here is going to be upsized. There are culverts through this area for the getting over to the pond. Those are all, and the calculations in the stormwater report will show that that they are shown on the plan and they are shown on the roadway sheets in detail. And again, calculations will show what the sizing is. It's done, it just needs to be submitted as our next submission. Number 7, locations, names, and present widths of existing and proposed streets and easements. We have those. We have a proposed 50-foot right-of-way coming in with the existing right-of-way coming out phase 1. Number 9, contour lines and intervals required by the board.
No, the other one.
Your question, Judy?
Does that, the road that cuts through there, does that have a name on it?
This one here?
Yeah,
No. Just,
it doesn't need one.
I'm not sure. The purpose for that is again going to be, nobody's going to live on it. It's going to be, emergency access to get back out. Haven't really thought about what we need to name it.
I don't think it could be Panoramic Drive, and I don't think it
No,
could be.
Panoramic Drive comes up and goes this way. So we could entertain we would propose a name for that if the board feels that's necessary. We don't have a problem with that. I just never thought of it as needing to be named for 911.
It may need to be for 911.
Yeah, they may need a sign here if they're coming up this way.
What's the name of that road right there that comes out of the subdivision?
This one?
Meadowbrook.
Meadowbrook Drive.
No, the one to the right.
This one
That's
here?
what I was
Yeah,
talking
That's the one we're going to name.
It doesn't have a name.
It doesn't have a name even within the subdivision.
That's correct. It does not. It would be named from here down to here as one piece of road. So we will name that. Okay, contour lines at such intervals, 1-foot contours on the whole site. We've topoed it. It shows on all the roadway sheets and the drainage plans. Number 10, log on the soils, investigation by registered soil scientists. I have them with me tonight. The planner's note is not submitted, but they have been done. And again, I just want to make a complete submission with everything. Stormwater report, soils, road design, and not do a piecemeal submission. So that will be, they are done, and that will be coming to the board. Number 11, deed description and plan of perimeter survey of tract being divided by a certified land surveyor. This has been surveyed. It will be stamped and certified by my surveyor. The planner's note in his column, updated deed description for phase 2 not submitted but will be forthcoming. We usually don't, and we can, it's not an issue. We can do a deed description of the entire phase 2 back to here and submit that as part of our package. It's done in the computer, it just needs to be printed. Excuse me. Connection to existing public or private well, their individual wells, which we will show on our plan with these septic locations to see how they can work together. Number 13, sewer systems, subsurface systems. Again, we have the test bits done. I have not shown them on this plan yet, but they will, and they'll also be shown on the roadway sheets, each lot. Provisions, number 14, for collecting and discharging storm drainage. That's where we're at now with DEP, and culvert sizing and how we're going to manage the stormwater from this roadway system. The question here was the 15-inch culvert questionable, and that's the culvert right here. If we can get the stormwater to go, or if DEP supports everything, that culvert will be fine. Otherwise, that may be upgraded to an 18-inch culvert to handle a little more water coming back to the pond. So if it is undersized, it's just by a small amount. And again, it's conditioned on DEP accepts our stormwater direction. Number 15, design bridges, not applicable. Number 16, location of buildings, we had a waiver voted on tonight, so that's complete. Location of temporary boundary markers, conspicuous enough for a board to locate in the field. We have all the front lot corners with wooden stakes along the road. The center line of the road is staked out, and all lot corners were staked so that my soil evaluator knew where he was. So anybody going out there can follow the layout of the proposed lots. Number 18, show all parcels of land to be dedicated to the public community. No public or private spaces proposed. This open space in the perimeter will be just owned equally by the homeowners and managed for passive open space. If they want to create a trail system or something to enjoy out here, cross-country skiing or hiking, but there'd be no public open space. Excuse me. Number 19, proposed use of any part of the original tract which is not included in the subdivision. We do have the entire holdings shown up here at this scale of what Mr. Cody owns.